So yesterday, I made a video in which I put out my theory that the majority, or at least most men that are single, are not as lonely as a lot of individuals out there would like us to believe. In fact, from the majority of the comments from men, most men have actually found it rather peaceful being single. And this seemed to upset some individuals.
You're not lonely because women are bitches and whores. You're lonely because you're a loser and an asshole. This is not about being socially awkward. This is about being so far up the ass crack of alpha male podcasters and the patriarchy.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Ron back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. So, the male loneliness epidemic, I'll tell you, this is another one of those topics that's been coming across my algorithm quite a bit. And I always found it a bit interesting because I think this is another one of those false narratives to make women feel superior and better than men. And they actually think men are just so freaking miserable being single. I'm going to let you know right now, any man that is talking like that, 9 times out of 10, is just because he's not getting any sex. It's not because, he just lonely and wants to be in a relationship so damn bad. Like, trust me. Because if a man can get sex without giving any kind of commitment, trust me, that man ain't lonely. So if there are any men talking like that, more than likely that is the case. But like the woman in the intro, I think most men aren't lonely like women think. If anything, I would actually argue it's the other way around, considering how many videos you come across of women complaining about dating and women complaining about not even getting approached. Right. So that right there kind of nullifies this whole male loneliness epidemic bullshit anyway. I truly believe it's a fallacy. And I got some videos that can shed some light on that. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it.
We keep hearing about the male loneliness epidemic. And ironically, we keep hearing about it mostly from women who are very adamant that they don't care anything about it, yet continue to speak on it almost constantly. Not only that, but they also mention that it's entirely men's fault that they're lonely. But I have some serious doubts about that, because from what I have been seeing, there are actually a lot of men that are perfectly happy being single, and they're not lonely at all. Granted, there are some lonely men out there, but I would also point out that there are a lot of lonely women out there too, but we're not calling that an epidemic, because most women will say that they'd rather be alone than with someone who doesn't appreciate them. And I would actually wager that the same holds true for men, that they would rather be alone than with someone who doesn't treat them properly. So, gentlemen, please, are most of you alone because no one will date you? Or are you alone because you can't find anyone suitable to be in a relationship with? I have a feeling it's more of the latter.
Well, it sounds like she was experiencing the same thing that I was experiencing, finding a whole bunch of videos of women talking about this. And when she asked this question, she ended up doing a follow-up video as guys were responding in the comments. And I want y'all to hear what she had to say, along with a video of another woman pretty much talking about this male epidemic shit. And she kind of debunked that as well. Check this out.
So yesterday, I made a video in which I put out my theory that the majority, or at least most men that are single, are not as lonely as a lot of individuals out there would like us to believe. In fact, from the majority of the comments from men, most men have actually found it rather peaceful being single. And this seemed to upset some individuals, and by some I mean some women, some of whom left some very disparaging comments in regards to what they thought of me. But it doesn't matter what they think of me. What I want to know is, why would some women get upset that men are more happy single than they were in relationships. Because I think we all know that sometimes it's worse to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't appreciate you than to be single and be by yourself, where you don't have to worry about impressing anyone or worrying about what they're doing. So why would some be upset about what the guys were saying? Seems rather funny, doesn't it?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Sorry, not to be a hater, but the male loneliness epidemic, who fucking cares?
Apparently a lot of people do, or else there wouldn't be so many individuals out there making videos telling everyone how much they don't care.
Oh, yeah, what are you guys gonna do now? Pew pew up a bunch of schools? You already do that.
Yeah, very few people actually do that.
Oh, you gonna unalive your wife and kids? You already do that.
And again, they're talking about a very small percentage of the male population, but mentioning that wouldn't make a very good video, would it?
You're gonna terrorize nations? Already do it. Start a war? Did it.
I find it very convenient, the fact that they left out all of those women rulers that actually started a multitude of wars, but I digress.
Destroyed economies? Did it. Destroyed democracies? Doing it now.
Wait, are they trying to imply that there's no women in positions of any power anywhere in the world that could influence those decisions? Okay.
We're not afraid. And now you guys are just lonely and we're still not afraid. So, sorry. Male loneliness epidemic, get the fuck out of here.
It's very popular right now to be a misandrist, and if a person was wanting to jump on that particular bandwagon, remember, all a person really needs to do is make a bunch of disparaging statements generalizing an entire demographic with no regard at all for the fact that most men actually happen to be good people that are guilty of none of the things mentioned.
Sorry, not to be a hater, but the male loneliness epidemic, who cares? Literally. Oh, yeah, what are you guys gonna do now? Pew pew up a bunch of schools? You already do that. You're gonna unalive your wife and kids? You already do that. You're gonna terrorize nations? Already do it. Start a war? Did it. Destroyed economies? Did it. Destroyed democracies? Doing it now. We're not afraid. And now you guys are just lonely and we're still not afraid. So, sorry. Male loneliness epidemic.
Fortunately, there are women that care. There's enough women out there that have good men in their lives, which are most men. Most men are good men. And honestly, that is exactly why men are not in your comment section trying to defend themselves, because they don't need to. They would much rather leave you alone. Because there is one thing I know, every single man out there would choose to not have an intimate relationship with a woman rather than deal with a woman like this in their lives. Unfortunately, a woman like this is not going to feel a full effect of that until 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the line, because she holds hate in her heart for an entire gender. She has no empathy for them. This might sound harsh, but as she gets older and her outside starts to look more and more like her inside, less and less are going to be interested in interacting with her.
I would actually argue that might already be the case, which is probably why she's coming across so damn bitter. I mean, she is super mid. Like, I'm talking like a 3 or a 4 at best. That's me trying to be nice. Because in all seriousness, she strikes me as one of those type of women that if she does deal with men, she's dealing with men that are far above her league, and she probably gets treated like trash and gets treated like an option, and she doesn't like that shit. And the men that are actually on her level, she doesn't want them. So therefore, she has this hatred in her heart. And then you want to, or maybe she's carrying some kind of trauma because she mentioned a whole bunch of things that only a small percentage of men do, and then want to sit over here and try to justify that as men being lonely. This got to be some of the biggest crock of shit that I hear coming out of women's mouths. Y'all, let me harp on this real quick because this shit pisses me off. The whole essay conversation, shooting up schools, shit like that. It's only a small percentage of men that are doing this shit. And then when it's over here and saying we're not scared, y'all ain't scared, but y'all are the same bitches that chose the fucking bear to be in the fucking woods with. Shut the fuck up. Because you know what? I'm really starting to get the impression that women can't stand the thought of men being happy without them. Because it really doesn't apply the other way around like that. Because it seems like women seem to only be happy or feel good about themselves at the detriment of men. They just can't feel good and be happy about themselves solely on their own. But I'll say that only applies to women who think like her. I'll say that because obviously that's not all women. But let's keep it moving.
Not to mention that we don't have a loneliness epidemic. We have a loser epidemic.
We also have a motherfucking hoe epidemic going on. How about that? How about it?
You're not lonely because women are bitches and whores. You're lonely because you're a loser and an asshole. This is not about being socially awkward. This is about being so far up the ass crack of alpha male podcasters and the patriarchy. Instead of going to therapy, processing through your trauma, making yourself a better person, you would rather go on the internet and listen to other losers who have to pay for women to come onto their show. Because most women avoid them like the fucking plague. You would rather listen to con artist losers who are preying on your insecurities, your shortcomings, and your fragility. And when you pay $1,000 a month for their useless advice, you are still lonely. The patriarchy tells you not to listen to women, treat them like second-class citizens. Women are only good for sex. Women are only good for making babies. And you wonder why you're lonely. You know, we've entered an era where women have the right to choose whether to be married, to have children, what jobs they want. And that actually requires you to be a better person, to work on yourself, to be more than a paycheck. And I promise you guys, I swear to God, that if you don't make changes, if you don't get these alpha males out of your ear, if you don't work on yourself, go to therapy, work on your trauma, your genes will not make it to the next generation. I fucking guarantee you that. You have been lied to and you have been conned. So get your fucking shit together. Because it's not women's responsibility to make you less lonely. It's your responsibility to be a person that people want to be around.
It's always the ones built like a nose tackle, bro. Because while she over here telling men they need to go to therapy, I hope she trying to get her ass in the gym. And this is one of the reasons why the patriarchy topic pisses me off so much. Because when women like her discuss the patriarchy, they only talk about the things that don't benefit them or puts them in a box to where they feel like they can't do anything out of what the expected societal norms are. But in reality, and I'm thinking about even doing a TikTok video myself on this because I seem to see this all the time on here. The patriarchy isn't going anywhere, ladies. It's not. In order for the patriarchy to completely be dismantled means you would have to relinquish the things that y'all benefit from, including getting your bills paid, chivalry, being protected, all the shit that y'all claim men are expected to do for you falls under the patriarchy. Y'all think y'all slick. What y'all are trying to do is relieve all of the things that don't benefit y'all and benefits the man, and only keep the things that are beneficial to y'all and not the group as a whole. This is another reason why I need to do a video on women being more selfish than men, because I can show so many ways it doesn't make any damn sense, and this is one of them right here. I'm so sick of this patriarchy bullshit. It's like, it's no wonder more men like myself and others are going to countries that are a little bit more patriarchal, because the United States is actually matriarchal with the illusion of being under a patriarchy, so that way y'all can keep pushing this bullshit ass narrative like this. Because you over here going on this rant thinking that you really ate, but all you saying is a bunch of bullshit. Because I would actually make the case that men are actually working on themselves a hell of a lot more than women are. Because if anybody seems to be getting uglier on the inside, is women. And y'all are more obese and overweight than men, so men got y'all beat there too. But I digress, man. Let's keep it moving.
Some men don't have too controlling behavior. They have, I've seen this before, I know where it ends, I'm not going through that again behavior.
A lot of men rather stay single because they're tired of giving their everything and ending up with nothing. Do you guys agree with that?
You know what the funniest thing about so many men is nowadays? So many men are no longer scared of being single. They're now scared of being in a soul-sucking, detrimental relationship that's only gonna waste their time, waste their energy, waste their effort, and waste their money. They would rather be single than be in a bad relationship. So it's not that men are complaining because they're single. Men are complaining because they've just seen everything as such a waste of time for them lately.
Do you not think a lot of us really understand the fact that a man granting us access into his life is really a perk, a privilege, and a benefit? It really is. So y'all walking around talking about, I'm gonna do me, boo. The men are like, okay, cool. But don't hit me up talking about what I'm supposed to do in the midst of all of that. These men don't need y'all. Y'all make it seem like it's a luxury for a man to have today's women. The average today's woman is a woman that, again, is entitled, selfish, greedy, needy, broke, ran through. And even the bad ones, y'all just as worse as the average chicks. Yeah, all of y'all beautiful, fine, sexy women out there, yeah, trash.
You wanna know why that male loneliness epidemic shit is stupid? It's the same reason why men don't ever need to become better. It's always an excuse. It's always people on the outside who gotta pay for the relationship that these people are in. So when this dude made this video, he either didn't know what he was talking about or he pandered to women. Because this male loneliness shit really applied to men who will only feel lonely because they don't know what they up against. But it's right here in your face. They using your lifestyle to insult the man they obviously still sleeping with, just like when they call everything sassy. Those are their gay best friends. What do this got to do with they man? When they complain, what do it have to do with them if they never the problem? Have you ever noticed they keep ending up with each other though? Men who don't get better and women who don't get no better men. But like I said, all you gotta do is think about the fact that women are still complaining about men while trying to convince us this male loneliness epidemic is something they actually care about. But all you gotta do is pay attention. They call men gay every chance they get because men don't want to be married. Men don't want to take them on dates. Men don't want to be in relationships. That don't sound like somebody who's lonely. That sounds like somebody who's choosing to be alone. Subscribe to my YouTube, Planet Reality.
As somebody who went monk mode for 2 years, mainly concentrating on building this YouTube channel to where it is now, I can tell you in those 2 years, I was not lonely. I was too busy focused on this channel, being consistent with working out, doing the best that I can to make sure that I was making as much money as possible, because I eventually wanted to level up and be in a position of where I'm at now. I think the male loneliness epidemic is bullshit. I think it's just another one of these conversations, another one of these topics to make women feel superior and morally better than men, and it's really not so the case. I honestly believe if you ask most men that are single, they are not lonely. The incels, yeah, they might be, but let's be 100. Those women don't even want those men. They're just using those men to justify what they believe is a male loneliness epidemic, and that's not the case whatsoever. I would actually argue the men that are well-to-do or at least financially stable or responsible enough to where they don't need nothing from a woman, those men are not lonely. Those men are just focused on themselves and investing their time in things that they like to do and their hobbies and in self-improvement. I would make the, you know what I mean? Or in some cases, just sitting at home playing the game. But we know women hate that shit too. Because God forbid a man ain't doing anything relaxing or fun. He always got to be doing something productive or making some money. Otherwise, he ain't a real man, right? Yeah, only men get put in that traditional box, huh? Funny how that works. But women shame men for doing the same to them. Walking contradictions. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this, man. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all hit that bell notification. That way y'all know when I'm uploading. Hit the like button because that's what the algorithm and helps me reach a broader audience. Also look out for the travel vlog channel as well as the live channel. Both links are in the description. Until the next video, y'all. Deuces.